is everyone doing today? Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Wavy. Crude going bananas. We'll take a look at it. Good morning, Sterling. W browser front row. The end of the world as we knew it. Okay, so we got a prediction. The world is ending. Hello again. Well, if you were short nickel, the world might be ending for you. Hey, Tesla Force. Good morning, everyone. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer-term viewers, you already know what to do. So, business optimism index down a bit. Balance of trade a little lower than expected. Next sort of market potentially moving, but not probably that much because everything's trading off the headlines and what's going on in the world. Wholesale inventories forecast 0.8, previous is 2.2, so that's where we're sitting with that. By the way, earnings this morning, Dick's and Petco were a couple of the bigger ones. Other than that, not much going on in terms of earnings. Oh yes, thank you. Biden speaking like, well, I could care less, but it's not going to move the markets that much unless he says something really off the wall. Hey, Sasha, you could move it a little. I should have brought that up, but thank you for putting that in there, Wavy. Thank you again. Anybody, if I missed something, please put it in the chat and we will put it up. This live stream is about everyone here, not about me. It's about to help us be better traders. And he's going to try to run a repair operation on what? You know, we had what the transportation secretary say yesterday that everybody should just go out and buy an electric car. Well, electric car prices are going to go up based off the rare earth minerals and everything else. And nickel makes a huge component batteries. And the LME cut off. It canceled all trades after midnight London time on the 8th. So that'll be, yeah, they will. And it'll bounce. It could bounce it very temporarily. But let's just look at the price action. Let's look at the price action because we got that bounce in Europe. You know, that's why we look at price action to prepare ourselves. Now, longer term, we still stay bearish, but short term, you know, here it is. Yeah, nice little trade in here, right there, rocketing up. I don't have to review all those. The longer term viewers know exactly what this is, but coming back up, looking at the 1 hour. You already know what I'm probably going to say. You see here, could not get that 1 hour. And when you're using these harmonics on the long-term basis, one hour is a really good one to watch to see if it closes above or below the key level. At this point, I'm going to just drop it in case we do break down. So keep in mind also overhead, you get above this 42.24 area again, you're into a clear path move to 42.54. There's not many stopping points. Let's see what that looks like and see that would be in the 4 hour rotation zone. And you can see here. So this is your next target. And this would be pretty major because this was prior support before, verified here, support here, support all the way through here. Now that's pretty major resistance with the declining 4 hour rotation zone. So if you are long or do get long, I would not ignore that 42.55 area. Above there would just be next as major support area becoming resistance, which is about 42.86. To the downside, you have the one rocket ship candle. You see here, just one here. So you could easily see a quick return to 41.65 if we do break down to retest this low area. Now below that, let's take a look at the bigger charts. If we break below 41.38, next you have the harmonics I just put on because this is a nice pausing bar on the 4 hour now. 41.03, which corresponds really with this these prior lows back on the 24th of February. So that's a very key level, not just for today, because that can stay in place even on a rally, but 41.03, then 4,068. So those are all our levels to the downside. Remember the rotation zone on the daily. We already talked about that 42.85 level. That's where the bottom of the rotation zone is on the daily. So if we start getting through this 42.55, that which was pretty major resistance. That 42.86 area is, again, very strong resistance. So you have a little window to the upside, and then you have a couple key levels of very strong resistance. Biden can't fix what the Feds let happen. It's too late. And the Fed, we're already behind the curve, and now it's really bad. 1,500 average Tesla price increase due to nickel. Yep, I saw 1,000, so 1,000, 1,500. It's again not just going to affect Tesla. It's going to affect any electric vehicle producer. So, and that's just that one aspect of it. So it's not like everybody just go buy an electric vehicle and everything's solved. By the way, Germany said that they were looking to actually not restart their nuke plants now. So this world's gone absolutely nuts. Biden can't fix his tie. Still waiting for the full washout. Me too. And we do not have it yet. This is not panic in the streets. Yeah, I agree. Sterling, I like, you guys make this live stream so much fun. Nothing like price change to sentiment. Also keep in mind, I mean, people think, oh, the shorts, when these things get like the nickel stuff, the shorts, but this can really harm producers like miners, even farmers that were short wheat, because if you're a producer, you're going to be short some. Commercial producers naturally are short because it's a hedge, they lock in prices. And when you get these massive moves, like in wheat, and there was a lot of volatility in wheat overnight, and nickel going up, it's skyrocketing, it doesn't just hurt the shorts, it hurts actually people who have a reason to be short. And it can cause major problems for producers that were short as a hedge because they're producing. And now there's going up 82%, and they can suffer massive losses too, which can affect their whole operations and possibly wipe out mines or farmers or producers that because of these massive squeezes that are going on. So keep that in mind, when everybody says, oh, look, it's just shorts getting hurt. And in the commodity and futures markets, there are very valid reasons to have a short position. So these markets can hurt a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. These are just not good markets overall to be in, separate from the stock market. I mean, regardless of what the stock market does, because I think it's heading lower over time. But that would be heading lower separate from, even if Russia never invaded Ukraine, we'd be having pressure on the markets. This was already set up. NASDAQ weaker. You can see not as big a bounce. NASDAQ, I'll be watching this little shelf right here. This little shelf, the 13,352 area. Above there, you have this clear path move, so you can make a pretty rapid run back to 13,550. That's to the upside. To the downside, we already went in this clear path move, retesting this resistance area right now. This prior support becoming resistance about 13,312. If it rolls over, I could see a rapid, again, double bottom here, but I could see a rapid return to this area to retest the European rally. And you see there was the next little harmonic area lining up with these key closing areas. Remember, watch the close. At this point, I'm also bumping this because we have a really nice pausing area. Again, the longer the term pausing area with this return to the 4-hour rotation zone, that's a stronger level to use. So if we do break through these key lows of 13,000, what's the exact key lows? 13,025 area, 12,942, and then we're getting a major cluster area, 12,746 to 12,781. And that's not just for today. If we were to rally and then roll over the next couple days, that would be my major target area. If we did get through this 13,550, the major rally area now on the daily is 13,752. I'd be actually shocked if we got back there today. Guess anything can happen. But that's where the daily declining rotation zone is and our other prior significant level. Dow, let's take a look. Shorter term charts. Let me update these. I forgot to update these yesterday, but let's just go. Those are going to be the pausing bar. Dow area. There's a lot of chop in here. There's a lot of chop and slop. But the Dow, if your minor level is about 32,950, you get above 32,950. This is really where area I'll be watching. 33,040. Because above there you got this little clear path move. You got above this prior, this was support, tested as resistance, tested again as resistance, and so far it's held. So you get above there, you could see a little quick pop to the upside. Let's take a look at this shorter term chart, because again, you have this minor clear path move, but then you start breaking down below here. I'm just watching for a retest of the lows, especially the European lows. Bigger picture, on a stronger rally, let me pull some of this off for now. On a stronger rally, here's the key area I am watching in the Dow. It's going to be right around this 33,300, 33,320 area with the declining daily rotation zone. Let's see what else do we have. Nothing like price to change sentiment. Completely agreed. I'm playing the gap fill on BBBY from yesterday. You think 9 will be another gap fill candidate? Let's check in on BBBY real quick. Yeah, it's closed right at that 62.5. So any weakness this morning, I'd be watching for that gap fill, and it's down already pre-market to 1980. So even if it rallies back to this 62.5, I'd watch for then a rollover play in BBBY. NINE Energy. Now, oilfield services equipment. I know nothing about this company, but no, this would not be a gap fill I'd be playing because of what's going on in the energy market. Because anything can happen in this, and this is more of a breakaway gap above the 200. So yeah, you could retest this area, but there's a couple key stopping points in here, and you'd have to be really nimble to do this. So that would not be one I'd be focusing on a gap fill play. Actually, let me take a look at this longer term chart. I'd have to do more research in this company, but this could be a long term interesting play, because this is a long base. And it's probably it probably got sold off for a major reason, but if you look at this could be an interesting play. Now, this would be a more aggressive play because of where its stock's trading, and it's obviously was trading down here for a reason. But you start getting some more momentum above, especially around $4. Start getting some more momentum around above $4. This thing could easily be a double, meaning this thing could easily hit $8 to $9 again. So keep that in mind if you want a more speculative play. To the upside, I'd watch, again, short-term breakout above $4. That's up in this area. You could see an interesting run. Again, this is speculative. This falls in my very speculative category. So this is not something, in my view, you bet the farm on. This is something that if I want to take a small shot at something that could double in price on a quick breakout, that would be it based off that chart pattern. But again, could it easily drop back down this area? Should something change in the energy market? Yeah. That's why it's aggressive. Let's see. Can you do a quickie on the path trading ticker NOV? Well, NOV, again, the full profit, it came back a bit, but yeah, my full profit area would be 25.06. If it hits there, I definitely raise a stop. 22.93 could be a partial profit. 22.93, $23 area that it couldn't quite get to yesterday. You get above this. That's either raise a stop and or take some partial profits. In 25.06, I would definitely unwind. Because that's the full double target and it's this prior resistance shelf. And then I'd be looking to structure, if it got above here, I'd be looking to structure a new trade. And it's also why 25 so interesting. If you look at here, look at that. Support, broke through support, tested, tested. Little blip through, but then rolled over, retested that area. So that would be key for me. Now you start getting above there on another play. You don't have a clear path or anything. Your next major stopping point would be 30, but I look for a partial backfill. It is getting overextended. Some of these energy, we will get a backfill in some of this energy, and that is a viable event in my book. But this, we had this massive run up. So this is where I start getting moving up stops and start unwinding positions, because greed can get in the way of common sense and taking profits at the target. And yes, there will be more plays in this going higher, but it's always good to, especially on a rocket ship move like this, to bank something and then watch for a re-entry play. Let's see. Veil. Non-energy minerals. Steel is really extended. They had earnings. Again, you're coming up. This is where, if you're already long, I would start aggressively moving up a stop and watching for another pullback play. You have a couple gaps in here to fill. Extended, very overbought, coming in against major resistance right now, and super extended. Super extended. Your first key area, if it does backfill, you're watching 20 bucks. If you start breaking below $20, I'd watch for a potential bigger pullback in there. But this would be an area I'd be really moving up stops if I was already long this. Now, again, this could be something on a backfill to definitely look for a re-entry play. It's just getting very overextended. What are the levels I'm looking for on the VIX to know we have hit a capitulation bottom? I'm looking for something upwards of, I went through this yesterday. If you take a look at the longer term chart, if you take a look, this, we start getting above 40, I'll get interested, but really mid 45s to 50, somewhere in here, mid 45s to 50, I really start watching for a potential short-term capitulation bottom. We're not at fear yet. I mean, this level gets spiked to, and it's not, things can drop off, but that would just be a short-term bottom. A capitulation bottom would be above 45 in the VIX. As for petroleum, in the U.S., imported roughly 7.86 million barrels of petroleum per day. Russia made up about 7% of total petroleum. Thank you for putting that in there. Tesla Force. Again, I love all these great things to share with everybody. Rig ripping, yep. I used to pair trade rig a lot. Boy, I remember pair trading this when it was really high. But rig ripping, your key area to watch for, again, this could easily backfill. You see we had that harmonic on there. Now we've ripped into, you got closed in here. You had somewhat of a super advanced clear path move. I'd be watching for a potential backfill in this if there's any weakness in energy, and a potential re-entry long. Now, if it breaks above 512, 520 area, above here, especially 520, you're into this move. That's could be a killer play to the upside, but I could see it backfilling a bit before that happens. So the real area you want to watch for is if it gets on a continued play, you get a close above 520, you're into a really nice playable move to the upside. Let's take a look at crude. Again, I'm still watching for a short-term topping pattern before a longer-term topping pattern. Is that, let's see where we're playing with this, though. I was watching this earlier. See, for a continued push higher today, we did get that 1 hour close, so we should still technically push higher, but there's just major resistance at 126.77. But I'm going to still short term today. I'm watching for a continued push higher, and then we might have a longer term little bigger double setup. So that could be interesting with crude. But if crude starts rolling over again, that's where some of these plays could backfill sort of quickly, and then you could get in on another move higher. Gold ripping this morning, going through that 216 to 218 target. Next target is 2053. Again, now we're finally, this is getting interesting to me, and I know we will get a backfill play at gold at some point, which is a add more, but this is area for me to take some partial profits up here. And again, I'm looking for much higher prices longer term, or at least move up stops, because if you get that big reversal bar, take something off, because gold can swing around even in this bullish environment pretty rapidly, and you can lock something in and then reload a position. Silver, which I'm very bullish on, has to play some catch up to gold, just hit the next harmonic level. Let's check in on notes. Notes, again, weekly rotation zone rotating back down. So that's the key line in the sand, is this 129 area. Sort of caught in no man's land, you see here, against a daily rotation zone and this prior resistance becoming support. So I'm watching, again, for a breakdown either below 127.08 area or a strong move back above 128.24, and then I'll close above 129. Dollar index, I started getting some topping patterns in the dollar index. I said that yesterday on the market overview, and we're starting to get a little pullback move. I'm going to be watching over the next couple days for the pullback to the 98 area. Checking in on Tesla. Tesla roughly flat pre-market, so nothing's changed from my analysis yesterday that we did post-market. Let's see. 9 is, oh, I didn't see that. 9 is trading 760 in pre-market. Well, there's, wow. Where was that? Oh, yeah, it is. Now it's trading. Wow. So that was already the double. Oops. Roughly the double. Now this, I'd start watching for a possible gap fill. Based off this, I would not watch for this gap fill. I'd be watching for a potential partial gap fill in 9. So yeah. Stocks like Apple, Tesla are approaching the 50 and 62.5. What's your take on these longs and these bounces? Don't like it. They're short-term plays. Those are short-term plays. Tesla, I'm not touching at all besides just little quick plays. Apple, yeah, people will come into that. But these, again, I talked about this in the live stream yesterday. Here's why it's tough. If you didn't get on this day, in the morning, you got your bounce. And look where it is now. Could it bounce back up? Yeah, but this is where you got to be nimble. Apple, it's going to trap too many people longer term. I went through what's going on in the mega caps. Too many people are going to rush into stuff, and you got to either get in and turn it into a very short-term play, or you're underwater again, and I'm expecting lower prices longer term. So these are super short swing plays, which you have to be very nimble on. That's why I don't like them longer term. I went through the mega cap stuff yesterday. Look, this is your mega cap versus S&P. Look at this pattern that's triggered last week, breaking down today. Yeah, you'll get bounces. But now your prior support is becoming resistance. So your mega caps can bounce, but then they're rollover plays again. And that's Apple, your like Amazon's. Not touching them. And then they're considered a lot of growth stocks still. They're not value stocks. And you have value versus growth index, which also triggered. Yeah, will you get strong rallies? Yeah, but then they're rollover plays again. This is where, if you're going to try to play something, I'd recommend trying to play some of these metals or oils stuff right now on pullbacks. What else do we want to look at? I think that's about it. Let's see. The dogs are fantastic traders. They're always bullish on something. AVAV. Oh, I've already gone to market open. Ooh, that was a little double. That does qualify for a double, by the way. AV, back above the 200 into this move. I'd be watching for a backfill play in this. Against the 50 in this resistance area, I'd be watching for a potential pullback. And then another long position. That could be an interesting play. Double bottom on the 15-minute RTY. It's 15-minute. Yeah, that's a playable double. Looks like. Yep, definitely playable double on the 15-minute RTY. But that's a tight stop, below 1950. Has not triggered yet. So here comes the open. Here we are. So that's definitely playable for a little pop to the upside in the RTY. And with that, I have to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to trade the open. Again, that RTYs could be a little fun trade. Looks like it's popping right now. So there's your little upside play. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.